Oh my god! What a reaction to a gargantuan disappointment. But what can we really say?
Oh,
Arsenal knocked out of the semi-final stage of the Champions League. In one breath, we'll say this is disappointing, but in the other breath, this is as far as we've come in the distance to the finals of a Champions League tournament. So, um, honestly, nobody saw us at this stage, considering the teams that we met in the quarterfinal. Yes, Real Madrid, but
oh.
at the same time, there are so many things to take away from this game that leaves us wanting more from our club, Arsenal.
Mm.
Like, if we really call ourselves a big club, what in the world are we doing to back that up?
Uh, I don't even know where to start from. And there are some of the things that we will still talk about that makes us sound like as if we're repeating ourselves. But when you mention what it takes to be a big club, like to whatever you claim to be, for whatever it takes, is in games like this
Yeah.
that you get to show it. How many semifinals have you played in Europe now? Even counting Europa,
Yeah, of course.
you know, how many semifinals have you played this season? We've played four semifinal games in two competitions, and we have shown that we don't have the balls to cross over. Does it take 5 years to build that thing? I'm not trying to belittle or not appreciate what Ateta has done in the last 5 years. But I'm not going to stand as if to say it's the best that we could have or we could have had, or what we have this season is the best that we can have. It shows in how we play. So if you look at how we got knocked out of the Champions League this season, regardless of what level of the competition, semi-finals or quarterfinals or in any game, regardless, if you look at it, why did we not get overboard? You look at it as lack of quality. It boils down to lack of quality.
Yeah, I don't think anything else can be said at this point. Like, a lot of people want to, blame the stadium atmosphere, uh
It's not.
blame
It's not.
blame the referees and
Nah.
all of that bollocks. At this point in time, at this stage in such competitions, it becomes very glaring the quality of your team. Trust me, look at what we did in the first 20 minutes. Yes, we will not go without saying that that was
The
a great way
stadium
to
was
start.
silent.
But that aspect that we have been seeing and crying and shouting about, which is conversion of
Yeah.
those opportunities, came and showed us glaringly that we are nowhere near where we
I
ought
was
to be.
I wasn't even celebrating those chances. I was just looking at like, are this going to go by? Are we not going to score now?
We were communicating during the game now, and I told you that we had better convert one of these chances
It's
soon, or
going to
else
hurt
we'll
us.
regret it.
We've seen this script so much in the past 5 years. Talk about in the past 3 years since we've started being in the contending conversation.
Yeah.
In the past 3 years, the problem has been converting, being clinical. The chances you have, you take them. In some situations, it's even now creating the chances that sometimes hurt us the most. But it is all about creating and scoring chances. I know it sounds like, oh, the basic thing that everybody is trying to say, but by the time you look at the team and where we want to be and where we are, as contenders, why would you be comfortable being a contender? And if you want to not be a contender anymore, what would you do to cross over that bridge? Is in taking those chances. This fixture was lost for me in the first 10 minutes at Emirates away because they had a chance, they scored it, and they banked on us not being able to score our chances. Yes, the goalkeeper was phenomenal, but they banked on us not being able to score our chances.
I like what you just said right now, that the goalkeeper was phenomenal. That's still quality, bro.
Exactly.
That is still quality. When you get to this stage in
Exactly.
any competition, your X factor is the quality. And if you fail to deliver on that quality, there is nothing. So, for instance, now, yesterday's game was great. Everybody talked about how much of a thriller it was. But at the end of the day, the fine margins of quality is what separates teams at this stage of the competition. Though the margin for us is quite far, that of Inter Milan and Barcelona were not too far off.
Yeah, yeah.
But ours shows where we need to do the work. Honestly, before this game, I had already said it to you that among these four teams, if you're going to be honest with yourself as an Arsenal fan, you know that you are the fourth among these four teams.
Watching the game yesterday, when I was watching how PSG and Inter Milan, the quality of the game I was watching, and I was like, are we playing the same competition with these guys? That we seem Arsenal, like when you see Arsenal play football, like right now, we seem to be imposters in this level of the competition where we are right now. So if you look
Yeah.
at the four teams available, bro, the quality from third to fourth, whoever you put on third, is so much. We are number four for sure, but the gap is so much that it's not even as much as the gap between one and two or two and three. So that
Yeah.
says so much about where we are. To be honest, we got to where we are at this stage of the competition based off on the available quality that we have.
Yes.
Available quality being what we have in the squad and what we did not have in the squad. So I mean, we talk about like injuries and all. If all our players were available, probably would have been all of that. But it still boils down to lack of quality.
Hmm. And
And
who
also,
would
lack
you
of quality also talks about the tactics as well. It's not
and who
just
would
the
you even
players, the coaches as well. They
yeah, so
need
who
to.
would you even call into question? Honestly speaking, with all that we've seen in the past 5 years, if there's anybody we're supposed to look at and hold accountable for all that we are seeing so far, it's still going to be Ateta. Like, in as much as some people want to drag it down to ownership, you cannot say ownership has
They
backed him up.
trusted you. They
Yes.
trusted you. The
And
even if we look at the 5 years, like what they have backed you up with, are you saying you could not win a trophy? Are you saying it was not enough? You understand? Because it boils down to, we always talk about it too, that all the League Cup exits in the past 3 years, the League Cup, the FA Cup, it goes as if we don't care.
it's coming back to haunt us now.
But Arteta's performances in the cups have not been fantastic like that. We always talk about like, oh, the FA Cup, the FA Cup, the FA Cup was not his team. So
Remove that FA Cup. If you look at
he's
all
not
all
fit.
his all the tournaments we've been in that we've been looking to qualify through stages, right?
Mhm.
This is the highest level, right? And the painful part is that what we are found wanting on this level, we've been found wanting on those other levels. And that is why I'm bringing Ateta into the question. Because if you look at his recruitment in the past 3 years, you can give him credit for the defense, you can give him credit for the midfield, but what credit can you really give him for the attack?
Zero.
So, what then are you telling me about a coach, right, that is not holistic in his approach from defense to attack to actually cross the line in bringing trophies home? I'm strongly saying, in my own opinion, I'm not going to, be very irrational to say, oh, at this point, Ateta out. But I'm just going to say this summer transfer window
It's the last
is
chance.
the last chance. If Arsenal as a club are indeed serious about winning titles, about getting trophies through the door, this is the last chance he has.
Facts. Facts. And the reason why for me is the last chance is because he's now being backed up by an experienced and proven sporting director that has used, let me say, the failure of this season to see what we lack. Maybe he
Yeah.
had, obviously he might have been, he must have done his homework, but at least being inside the club for this season must have shown how much, like, must have been obvious to him of how much we lack as a club. So that's why the addition of the sporting director makes it the last chance. If our recruitment this summer does not get us across the line, I feel as a club, we might not be able to get anything more than what we've gotten from the partnership of Arsenal and Mikel Arteta.
Yeah.
It's
Honestly,
going to be
it
sad,
is.
but
Yeah,
just scatter
it's sad,
everything and start
and
again.
it was it's sounding unfair, right? Some people might hear this and think it's unfair on
It's,
Ateta for us to
it's not
judge
even
him
a
this
shame.
critically.
Yeah, it's not even a shame, or I'm not even trying to judge or criticize Arteta. It's just the
In
partnership
in
that has not worked.
Yeah, so in the league of top managers, let me even specify that further. In the league of young top managers in the world, if you say top five young managers in the world, I believe Ateta will fall into that category.
But I still question that, though.
Wait, you how so?
I
Look at
I don't.
you are free to question it, right? But when I'm talking about young managers, top five in the
Mm-hmm.
world right now that we are seeing in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
out can you call three others aside from, like, if you're not going to call Ateta, rank three?
So when you talk about young, right, I'm going to
Yeah,
look at, probably they're in their first 5 years of management, you know, and
start up in their careers as managers.
yeah, that first, all this kind. So I'm still going to put players like Xavi Alonso, ahead
Yeah,
of him,
of
and
course.
and in fact, so this is why I'm not putting Ateta. I'm not putting him in any type of like wonder kid or any type of like top ranking managers yet. What has he done that Pochettino hasn't done? So at the end of the day, if you don't win titles, your legacy be will look like the next person. Trust me. Are you telling me that revamping Arsenal from where we were to where we are now, with all our resources and everything, is a harder job than what Bournemouth is doing? So, in terms of success, in terms of recruitment, in terms of like football, in terms of like what the outturn of the club has been, where we are right now, it's not as if we've not been here before. So, what you are doing is not as if another
Mm,
manager wouldn't have been able to do it.
yes, yes.
So tactically, I don't. Yes, he has come. He is playing football in type of way that, we are seeing the academics, we are seeing the academical knowledge in football there, right? But at the end of the day, you are just a good nerd if you haven't won anything.
You know what? One of the things that I looked at as well, right, is the thing that I feel is failing Ateta right now is his pride. I think he knows so much about the game in the theory, but the pride will not let him own up to the fact that he has been crap in terms of bringing the right quality to this club.
So,
Because honestly speaking, if you look at these clubs that are
mhm,
entering top level,
yeah,
these guys, there's so much they can do as a coach,
hmm,
but they get bulk of the work done with the quality they surround themselves with.
yeah.
And I'm like, in this given period of time that you've had as a coach, with all the knowledge that we know that you have about the game, why is it so hard for you to actually create a full team with the quality depth you need to get results? Like, you've come this far, like you built the team to a point where you know that you don't need too much, but you just need quality. You
Hmm.
don't need numbers, but you just need quality. And you still allow someone like a Sterling come through the door.
So you are even looking at it with the scale of this season. This season, recruitment, squad management, and everything was subpar. We can also talk about recruitment and how is beyond him, the board, blah blah blah, is excusing him this season. Let's look at the last two seasons. We choked on the running of the Premier League.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a case of recruitment.
No, but it is. If you ask me, what
Yes.
separates if you put as a Wenger on one side and you put Ateta on one side, compare their first 5 years. Look at them critically. What do you think really separates an Arsene Wenger from an Ateta? Do you think it's tactical genius?
No, I think it's by players.
Yes.
I
So
think
I'm
it's
telling
players.
you, the ability to go into the market and say, you see this young boy,
That's what I'm talking
Anel,
about. That's what you
Anelka,
made a
you see
decision.
Henri, you make those decisions. You
Yeah.
bring a Beckham, you bring all these guys that can come and take the load off you and
Mm-hmm.
deliver on the field,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what the stadium is doing.
Mm-hmm.
That speaks to a quality
So
that we've not seen
so that
in
is why
Ateta.
I'm even going to that fault on him also shows in the previous seasons because you decided to set up a team that obviously you felt could win. Okay, they challenged, like they were contenders, they came second. Okay, fine. But what was the difference between second and first? It wasn't a we were beaten to it. This season, Liverpool beat us clearly
Yeah, of
to it.
course.
But the last two seasons, we had it, we dropped it. So this team that you set up to go and do this thing couldn't get over the line. And I told you something during the game that the lack of courage, maybe that pride is also masked with fear and lack of courage to make bold decisions. You feel you can be rash when you are right about Ramsdale versus Raya. But let's not limit your man management in the squad
Yeah.
to when you've been right. How about when you've been wrong? How about when your players that you bank on are not delivering, are disappointing you? What do you do? How do you send a message? Yeah, you did it to Alba, that was a goal scorer. You did it to Ramsdale, that helped us from nobody to a contender. It was part
Did
of
to
your
Ozil.
it was part of your recruitment as well. You did it to Ozil, one of the best creators, because of how you wanted to play. Okay, what about now that you are favoring some players when it's clear your man management and your recruitment, everything is so lacking. So it's not even only about the tactics anymore, because even tactically it's easy to beat us. Like the coaching team right now, bro, we've considered so much in set piece and we claim to be a set piece
Yeah.
strong team. So there's so much that we have regressed in this season. Recruitment, tactically, set piece, scoring, creating chances, defending, passes. How many, like, if you look at the pass completion from last season to this season between our defenders, I don't think it will be an improvement. The errors that we're making this season, I'm like, and
No,
I told you something like after we lost against Bournemouth, losing to PSG is not the worst thing. We're playing Liverpool next. So, and I said it that it looks like they have capped the team. The coaches have capped this season. We might just be running on fumes, and it could be very embarrassing even to the end of the season.
Yeah, so let's even now put a different thinking cap on. Let's say we want to hold on to the excuses that Teta would have and filled out this season, in the sense that a lot of calls from the referees have been to his disadvantage, a lot of red cards were needless, a lot of injuries, right? Look at that PSG team today and consider their bench. Do you know that that whole attacking three can actually be substituted to fill out another attacking three
They
that
almost did now.
that will be as good a quality?
Yeah,
So who do you then put that on? You put that on the system that he has set in place.
bro. Let me even tell you, they were 3-1 up on aggregates, and they made more attacking subs than Ateta.
Because they had it. They had it.
So even it is. Let's not look at, bro. At that point, I'm not trying to like think to behave as if I'm a better manager than Ateta. But why are you making defensive subs when you need to score? When you have attacking players on the bench,
Have you seen our bench?
bro.
Our bench is 70% defensive.
But
On
Nwaneri
on
was on the
bench, you have
bench.
two goalkeepers safe.
Yeah, I understand. I understand all of that. But Nwaneri was still on the bench.
He doesn't trust him. That's the evidence.
So, and you are,
No, it's
even if it's Butler or Oyedeji, my guy, throw him in.
there's no quality. That's what I'm talking about. There's no quality. Honestly speaking, you are saying throw him in. Yes, imagine he threw him in. Would you be feeling safe and confident?
So,
It will
it's
still
not.
come back to him, because trust me. If let's now
So it's not that
let me be
I'm
brutally
banking.
honest.
It's not that
Let me
I'm
be
banking
brutally
on
honest.
them.
We are calling for Ethan, right? Ethan, let's say, was the Ethan and Trossard are the brightest sparks, attacking sparks we have on the bench.
Yeah.
But honestly, compare those attacking sparks we have on the bench to any team in this top flight stage in the
I
competition.
know. I know it's not. I know it's
It's
nothing close.
not.
I
So
know absolutely.
we can't even be calling Ethan in this
No,
conversation.
no, no. I'm not calling him as per a solution to this fixture of PSG. I'm calling him in the fact that Ateta doesn't have the balls to make bold decisions in the game. So even let's look at Bournemouth that we played in the Premier League. Odegaard was a mess. Okay, you were saving legs and everything. The little 10 minutes that Ethan came into the game, he showed more. So it's not about it's about making the decisions. It's about sending a message. It's about being strong. You have sent that message against some players. You have to be consistent. So even tactically, if option A is not working, do you have the balls and humility enough to move to option B? To be able to accept that, okay, this is not working, let's move to this. There have been games that he has done it, but it is more about the shape of what he has. Okay, this is what I have, rather than you going front. Okay, just stay back, like we did against PSG after they rushed us 20 minutes against Emirates in the Emirates. So it's not about like, oh, you make like a 30-minute sub. You understand? I'm not saying he
Yeah.
should in the PSG, but you make a 30-minute sub, you bench your captain, you bench your starter, you take your captain off the squad. He has done it before.
So I feel I wouldn't want to still jump back on the whole note of pride that I'm saying that Ateta might
Yeah,
just be proud to not appear like he's made a mistake.
yeah.
But it's obvious that
It is.
the mistakes run deep. The mistakes run deep in the sense that yes, he made a good substitution for Trossard, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's even evaluate the total quality we have up front.
No,
From the
it's nothing
left
to. There's
to
nothing
the
even.
right to the
Yeah,
center. There's
nothing.
nothing to write home
There's
about on this
nothing.
level.
There's
If it's
not,
for making top four, yes. If it's for getting into maybe round
bro.
of 16,
We're not
yes.
our front three as a whole is not better than the top six in the Premier League. Let's be
Yeah.
factual. Let's be
So
factual as a whole. As a whole.
the the
Because yeah, you
thing,
can
the
look at
thing,
Saka. Saka is better than almost all of them, yeah, but as a whole,
yeah. But the thing is, I still want to bring it down to this. Ateta has one summer to fix it.
this is it.
Ateta has one summer to show us what he really has in terms of quality. You understand? Um, if you ask me, I think any good manager will do great things with the players we have,
Mm-hmm.
right?
100.
As far as defense is concerned, as
100.
far as midfield is concerned, right?
100. We don't
But
need too much. I'm telling you, we don't need too much.
we don't need too much. We
It's
don't
not
need
a
too much.
total rebuild. It is
Yeah,
not.
we don't need too much. We need Andre Berta to actually step in
Bro, why
with
the
the
hell
eyes
do we
and
have
voice
two
of
goalkeepers on the
experience.
bench in the semi-finals of the Champions League? Why? No, why? Are you telling me that I'm not even banking on any youth player or anything, but you would rather go to the semi-finals of Champions League with two goalkeepers on the bench, with three goalkeepers in your squad? Come on. What type of squad is that? What type of team is that? You have like how many? You have like people like 3 to 4 people that have not played more than 5 minutes in their professional in top life football. That's not a squad that looks like they want to even score in the semi-final. Talk less of scoring 3 goals.
Um,
Well,
we took
far
a
from
gamble on
it.
Ateta. I think the club took a gamble on Ateta. Um, the club will have to evaluate its gamble this coming summer and the next season. It
They signed contract now, so they are good.
Yeah. So no, they will evaluate. That's why I said they will evaluate their
Mm-hmm.
gamble because honestly speaking, the guys that have done it in the Premier League in the past 5 seasons, in past 6, 7 seasons, they didn't come empty-handed without a track record,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? They spearheaded a win
Mm-hmm.
and they spearheaded great results.
Mm-hmm.
Pep Guardiola, Klopp,
Club.
and now Arne Slot.
Yeah.
They
Even
came
Conte.
to this league on a pedigree. And Conte, they
Yeah.
came on a pedigree.
Yeah.
Ateta is the only one now that feels like an imposter,
Bro,
right? That needs to
five,
prove a point.
5 years is you're not a juvie anymore. You're not a novice anymore.
Yeah, and if you look at the team he left, if you look at the team he left, which is Man City,
Mm-hmm.
honestly speaking, let's even say that he's a great coach. He was coached by one of the greatest. But look at the quality that Man City can field out in players. Do
Bro,
we even have that?
they didn't
So
miss him. They didn't miss him. They didn't skip a beat.
they didn't skip a bit. So that's to tell you that in as much as you think as a coach you have all the tactical ability, the tactical know-how,
There's someone
the
better than you.
fu- there's someone better than you, and the fundamentals of a quality player, if you cannot spot that, if you cannot get that on your side, you are just going to be hitting the touchline without any result, without any trophies.
Another how will I put it? Another um thing I also want to talk about is like, that might go underneath is like maybe the hierarchy of decision making in Arsenal also has to be reevaluated. You know, um, at times because of the several levels of approval that a decision has to go through, it does the movement, it does the decision making, and sometimes you can also lose opportunities in signing quality like that. So maybe that also comes into consideration. I don't know how it will work, but we've heard different. I don't know how it will work with Andre Berta, but we've heard different times where with Edu we almost lose quality players like Calafiori. We almost lost on the sign of Calafiori until they heard that Real Madrid was in the sign was interested in the player as well. Then all those decision makers like made fast decisions. So like things like that could also affect the next manager. It might be Arteta. It might be the next person. It could also affect.
Honestly, you saying this, it doesn't sound far fetched. Do you know why?
Why?
I can see it even in the style of play, the way our attackers play. Do you know how many chances we came in front of that were like, make this decision? No, somebody else should take it. Somebody else
Thank
should
you.
evaluate it. Somebody else should
Thank
look at
you.
it. Somebody else should look at it. And the opportunity slips by.
Exactly. So that echoes from the club to the coaches to the players. You see, just take a shot. If Odegaard was in the spot that Fabian Ruiz was when he scored that goal, he would have taken 2-3 touches, and the opportunity would have gone. Even
See Hakimi's goal.
even that shot that Odegaard took in the first half. After that shot, what happened?
He tried it one more time and he came back to his regular self.
He hit,
Bam!
he hit, he hit players' legs.
He hits players. He
Even that
doesn't.
shot, even that shot, my guy, like, yes, it was a quality shot. It was like superb and everything. But bro, what the difference of quality is like put a little bit of angle l- anywhere, like high or to the, and it's a goal. It would be like, wow. I know it was like a flick shot and everything, but these are the lack of quality that I'm talking about. Like, you see decision makers, you pass, 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 pass. There's no maverick. There's no maverick mentality. And even
No,
our
no.
superstar,
To me, it seems like Ateta wants to be the Maverick.
even our superstar,
Ateta
Saka,
wants to be the superstar.
yeah. You look at him,
Oh my god.
he's so academic in his decision making that if he tries one, okay, it's almost like you have a a a scale of preference of moves to do. Option A, option B, option C. So it's like you do in out first. If you can dink the cross, then the next one you do, you fake, you go to the left, try with your shots, or you try all those far deep crosses. Like, we know one of those times Saka will make those decisions in a game, and you can't stop him.
He made that
Yeah,
decision I think
and you can't
once
stop him because of his quality. But
where
that
Donnarumma
shows
had to
how
save it.
that
Yeah.
shows how academic our superstar is, and is just, again. There's no maverick thought and everything. You talk about the first free kick that Rice took. If he didn't bank on I'm feeling something that is against what we've studied or something,
Yeah.
we wouldn't score that free kick.
I will probably not be in this round of the
We would
of the
do,
competition.
my guy. So again, this is what we're talking about. That is what £100 million player will do.
So the way forward now, honestly, I feel we've come to a point where Nearly is not cutting it at all. Nearly is a very big disappointment that everybody
It's a
now is
failure.
seeing
Look,
so glaringly.
we're looking at second position as a failure right now.
Right
That's
now, I'd
if
rather not even. Right now, I'd
that's
rather we
even
not even
if we
finish
even have
second.
second position.
I rather stay away from that second, so we come into the reality of what we are actually at, where we are as a club, and reform from there. We're not too far off, but honestly, I want Ateta to be a success. I'm not one of those fans that will just come and shout, "Oh, Ateta out." Ateta loves this club, and we love
Yeah,
him
for
as a
sure.
coach.
I want
But
I
but
want
at
him to
this
be under pressure,
but at
to be
this point in
scared,
time, we want results. We want results.
to be under fire.
And if when the window opens, I think from June we should start seeing a move that should
Moves,
speak of it.
moves.
Ah,
To be
nah,
honest,
it is.
people talk about like, oh, that we need a striker and a left winger. Bro, we need like 5 attackers. I'm not talking of like, oh, they're all going to be starters or anything. But I look at our bench. I look at like spaces that we don't need some names. We need to fill them with players that can come and give us impact. Like, oh, give us something like you are not just filling up spaces. You're actually giving me an option to
Yeah.
call on the bench. So you're not just like making numbers. It's like, okay, if something is not working, I have this name to call up. And I'm looking
That
at
is
them.
the thing. That's the quality I'm talking about. That's the quality I'm talking about. It's just like how you have a fighter, for instance, right? You know that, oh, maybe you have a particular type of hook that everybody is used to, and you know that that's a killer hook. The quality of that fighter is not that, oh, every time I have to rely on that killer hook. I have other things in my locker. I have a roundhouse kick in my locker that would work. We need to have a lot of things in our locker. Come on, what is the name Arsenal for? If not having a lot of ammunition at your disposal, and we don't have that. It's clear we don't have that. If Saka is down, we know that he's down. If he's not having a good day, we are having a bad day. If Kai Havertz is nowhere to be found, no options in scoring goals.
Kai
If Martin Odegaard is having a
Havertz is
shame of
still
a
our highest
shameful
goal.
spell,
He's still
there
our
is
highest goal
nobody.
scorer in the Premier League.
Is our highest goal scorer.
Kai Havertz, yeah, with 9 goals in the Premier League.
And I'm telling you, it seems to me that Arteta is going to be more proud of that than having a striker that will actually win golden boots.
Ah,
Do you understand? Like I might be wrong, and I hope I am wrong, because the feeling I'm having right now is Arteta would rather be right about a player
don't be wrong.
than find the right player.
Mm,
Do you understand? It
I
looks that
understand.
way. It looks that way. But look at men like Pep Guardiola, who is his mentor. You think Pep Guardiola is all bent about, oh, he has to be right? He will find the right player. Jack Grealish came in for how much? But he wasn't doing what he wanted him to do. He had to bring in a different quality to do the job. Mid-season, see the kind of move they made for Mamouche.
They spent
Quality.
200. They spent 200 million.
So I'm not seeing enough. I'm not seeing enough from Arteta so far to say he merits being the manager of a club the size of Arsenal, except Arsenal are not as big as they claim to be.
Simple.
Because this is where you know a club's size in its heart,
In
and
the
it looks
decision.
like there was no heart today.
Yeah.
It looks like the first 20 minutes, yes, we had all the
We should have scored.
blazing,
Guy,
but we should have converted some of those
imagine
chances.
scoring in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Then the game will be blown open. Blown freaking open. See what we did to Ashraf Hakimi. See what we did to Mendes. They
We
were
had we
turned to
had
real
two,
defenders.
we had 2 shots in 4 minutes. On target in 4 minutes. So take one of those goals and the stadium will become Arsenal's. Like it, you'll be hearing the away fans more than the home fans.
Yeah.
That's how you turn. Bro, it happened in Madrid. Even at the Emirates, bro. Another thing I want to talk about. I think as a club we might start showing signs of we have shown signs of that we don't have a mega mentality, that we have a growing mentality, and we're back to the stages that we want to be and stuff like that. But it
Yeah.
has shown that we might be a little bit out of the water in the semi-finals. Did you see the environment that PSG created being in the semi-finals? Did
Brother,
you
I
see
told you. I told you
did you see the
yesterday when we when
environment
when
that
when
we
they stepped
created?
into the stadium yesterday at San Siro. See that environment.
So
They
you
stepped
want to
into the
talk about
stadium.
transferring of energy from fans? You don't. You did when PSG was under pressure in the first 10 minutes, 20 minutes of the game. The first shot that Kvaratskhelia had that hit the bar, it changed.
Hmm.
The noise came out. We were like, oh, okay, they've woken up. So it looked like PSG woke up because the stadium woke up. But no, it was PSG
PSG that
showing.
woke up.
It was PSG showing that okay, we are here by hitting the bar. That the crowd too woke up. I'm like, oh, let's give this guy blah blah blah. So
But
you don't come
I think
and
that's,
tell us that the stadium that is not like that the energy was not enough. You were not enough.
yeah. Would you agree? Would you agree that maybe our lack of representation in terms of, you know, showing up for this magnitude of an event at our home stadium, Emirates, is owing to our inexperience?
It's part of it.
Because we've really, when last have we had such height of a game at the Emirates?
Bro, look at the 4 stadiums that played the semifinals of this Champions League. Look at the environment that the 4 stadiums created. You will know that they've been there before. You will know,
Yeah.
even the way they played, the way they set up, you will know that they've been there before. That's like you remember when we were, you
Yeah.
understand? You will know,
But if you look at the,
we are far from where we think we are. We are.
sorry, if you look at the stats from what me I'm seeing so far, PSG, they've been into semifinals like 6 times, got knocked out maybe like 4 times. I think we need to get in a row of this experience, and I hope that this transfer window sustains our momentum in terms of probing for such levels. Right now, this is me trying to get into a positive side of things. All right, taking a moment to reflect on the fact that Arsenal were way off this point a couple of years back, but now we're getting close to it. What bothers us at this point really is, can this guy actually get us over the line?
Mm-hmm.
If you compare him to the other managers, they were seeing Enrique,
Mm-hmm.
we are seeing Inzaghi,
Mm-hmm.
we are seeing even Hans Flick. I will call his name
Hans
because
Flick, yeah.
he has actually turned a lot
His
around in
experience,
Barcelona.
yeah.
Yes. So those guys we're talking about, right? Those are highly experienced managers. Can we say our manager has that kind of level of experience? And we cannot discredit experience in this case. So if we were to say now that Arteta is going to be our manager for another 5 years, that's say say we have him for another 5 years and we enter semi-finals like another 3 times and we get out of it 3 times. That's still basically well within range of what it's like to come close, because see, for instance, Liverpool with Klopp actually came close, right? Not once, about twice before they finally
Yeah,
nicked it.
yeah.
So I think there's also a consideration for patience, as it were. But that patience is not passive.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It's
what
not.
me I'm
The
standing
patience
for.
is not going to come with regression.
Yeah, it shouldn't come with regression. It shouldn't come with inactivity. It shouldn't come with passivity. Passivity in the sense that you have to take action. You
Mm-hmm.
have to take a different route. You cannot be doing the same thing and expect a different
Expecting a
result,
different result.
except you're a mad person.
Exactly.
So we need to see something different
Mm-hmm.
from our club, from our manager. Honestly speaking, you see this squad that we have, we can still build tremendous records with this squad.
But the squad needs refreshing. When I mean refreshing, is that the core players will still remain. It's not that it's not a total rebuild. As I said, it's a refreshing because you just need to inject a new mentality, new energy, extreme strong mentality.
Mentality, yes. Mentality.
Because the mentality that we had that improved us, that made us into contenders, yes, we appreciate it, but that level has passed. We need winners mentality, people that will deliver, that will not even be satisfied with winning one trophy. They want to be like serial winners, because you're looking at a young squad. You have to believe that you are here not as a one-off, but you are here to stay. So
Yeah.
it's not even about a case of, that we win the Prem now, or we get over to win a trophy and we're satisfied with Ateta. No, you should like stay. You see how like Liverpool and Man City stayed. If not that Man City were just like diabolical or anything, they would have been able to like been exchanging the title between both of them. And that's the level that if that's the level that Arteta says he wants us to be, that was where we were at when
At
we
some
were
point,
like,
yes.
yeah, we were like tussling, with 1, 2, and 3 before Chelsea came to be the third one and everything. It was like basically Arsenal and Manchester United. But anyway, if we want to be in that conversation, it's not a one-off that you see us like, oh, that we just want it one-off. Like, you are here to stay, and it comes with the right mentality. And he
Yeah.
himself, he has to like, just like you said, he has to show something else. You have to show that you are a killer. You have to go into games, like you have to go into like competitions. You're not going to like, oh, let's learn from this game. Let's learn from this game, then we'll play better next game. No, you're killing this game because you
Killing
want
it
to kill
off.
the next game. Because you want to kill, like, bro, you're going into games like people know that okay, these guys are on another level. We saw teams like the Sadio Mane's and with Sadio Mane and Firmino and Salah Liverpool, you would
Yeah.
know that these guys are on another cruise. Even when they got 97 points and they didn't win the Prem, bro, that squad would win the Prem 2 or 3 times. You're talking
Yeah.
about like you know that okay, these guys are on another level.
Yeah.
And that
And
was what
and
we also
honestly,
saw
I
this
don't
season
think
as well. But we haven't
if
seen that from us at all.
yeah, if you even let me say if you isolate our attack, right? If you isolate our attack, that's our
Hmm.
front three and our attacking mid.
Hmm.
We don't have that heart heart wrenching fear that we inflict on the opposition.
We don't.
We
We
don't.
don't.
We really don't. Like
We
if
don't.
you look at Liverpool, that their prime,
Bro,
bro, they just need like maybe 3 passes to get into your 18-yard box and
bro,
forget it.
that's the decision making you're talking about. Decision making that even is not is not against your tactical setup as a manager, but it talks about the belief and the trust that your players have in themselves to make decisions for the
Yeah,
collective good. So like,
yeah.
oh, I see you, I give you, I don't doubt. There were some passes today that you will see. Give him the pass. But you rather play the safer one, the more cautious pass.
And
You,
you know, this is one thing I haven't said, but I think I will say this now. Having Captain Odegaard as our captain, right, speaks to the kind of person Ateta really is and the way the direction of football is going. In the sense that back in the days, you select a captain not because he's going to do everything you say, it's because he's the one that will take the lead of things when you're
in
not
the game,
in the game. Right now, it seems like someone like Ateta would rather have a captain that will be his puppet, that will follow his beat to every T and every beck and call.
again, the first free kick against Real Madrid, the same thing.
Yeah.
It's
But
the same.
funny how Ateta was not that kind of captain under Wenger. Because Ateta had a voice
Yes, he
and
will.
influence.
Yes,
Now
yes.
I wonder if he sees himself in an Odegaard. Does Odegaard seem like a player that has that voice to influence a game from the dressing room even to the pitch?
A couple of us were talking about Odegaard, where I play ball during the weekends, and we're talking about like how Odegaard is not a title-winning captain. And at some point, I was arguing that he's a good captain in his own books. But at some point, I agree that in as much as he's a good captain in his own books, he's not the type of captain. He's okay. When I was arguing for him, I made mention of captains like Kevin De Bruyne that might
Yeah.
not be the vocal, shouting, motivating type of like captains like them John Terry's, like them Puyol, or
Van
Vidic,
Dijk.
stuff like that, Van Dyke, all these kind of guys. But his game changes, like the way he impacts the game. He makes you better. He takes over the game.
It's a big statement enough from a
Sometimes he makes
captain.
decisions that you know that this is not Pep Guardiola's tactical play. He moves from the midfield, fires the shot. You'll be like, okay, he took it upon himself to impact the game. That type of leader might be molded in a frame of, might not be the most vocal, might not be the most intimidating physically and stuff like that. And that was why I was saying, like, that might be the same mold that a captain like Odegaard is. That's coach on the pitch and stuff like that. But you don't have the facilities, big man. You don't
He does have it.
you don't consistently impact the game. The best season you've given us with 15 goals and maybe like 7 assists or something looks like a one-off. You should be giving us,
It looks like a huge
like,
one-off right now.
if you gave us that the next season, we might have gone overboard. We might have won the league.
Even just a double digits, let him get to like
You
10
might
or 11.
So that's what I'm talking about. If you are giving us that same number this season, well, we'll be in a different place. So that's the type of captain you are talking about. And it seems like where Arsenal is at the moment, that is not the captain that we need. So I know we have like a team of captains, like the Big Gabby is one of those captains, but
Yeah.
I'm sure Declan Rice is going to be in that captain group as well because
Very soon.
we're talking about like impact leaders, not leaders that were even dragging along. That's not the type of leader that we need in the squad right now.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a heartbreaking one because it's a game that we've been leading up to for a week now. A lot of people have been talking about how this is going to decide their mental health.
But let's be factual. Let's be honest. We didn't deserve to be in the final.
I told you yesterday that if we make it to the final,
We'll
it's
be
grace.
embarrassed.
It's grace. And if we make it through the final without getting embarrassed, you know that God is merciful.
We'll go to the final again. It will be like when we made it to Europa final and lost 4-1.
And we got exposed. So I will take this with a pinch of salt in the sense that this experience that we've gotten from this stage in the competition should give us confidence that, yeah, we belong in top flight, no doubt, but we need to optimize ourselves. We need to improve. We need to take a direction now that should speak of results, not just nearlies.
Absolutely.
Like getting close is not enough. We need to get it over the line. And we need the club to stand behind, the coaching staff to actually support them to get this over the line. It's uncomfortable right now that I think about the fact that Arteta really didn't come with a track record of his own. So basically it feels like we are, taking a bet on him. But I feel with the experience that Andrew Barta is going to bring in, I think that's been our first, recruitment, I would say speaks of a different direction that the management might be considering. In the sense that there is nothing Arteta want to say that, Andrew Barta would not have an experiential input on, right? So I feel that there is a great hope we can look forward to in the coming season. As far as this season is done, it's done and dusted. Nothing to write home about. Nothing.
Trophyless season.
Another trophyless season. It's not strange for Arsenal fans to deal with trophyless seasons. I know. But it is still the love for Arsenal that keeps us here. And we keep going. Come on, you Gunners. I said, I'm not even thinking of player ratings because trust me, as far as rating is concerned, it does not even. We just leave it at that.
Yesterday now.
No, see,
like game yesterday. I want to now talk about
to maybe a lot of Arsenal fans might not talk like this, but me, I will say it. I want to watch an interesting final.
Yeah.
And to watch an interesting final, bro,
PSG Inter Milan
is going to be epic.
It's going to be a good final.
Yeah, so, we'll take it that way. For me, I'm still going to be looking forward to good football in the final, and that's what I'm happy about. Looking forward to another bright season. Hopefully, the summer is going to be encouraging,
Uh,
and
next season, next
next
season,
season, next
Netflix.
bro, and it's another year of our life going, man.
Ooh!
To think
No,
that we
no,
supported.
the sun will shine on us very soon.
I believe so. I believe
The
so.
sun
And
will
when
shine
it
on
starts
us.
shining, let it shine, knowing full well
Let
that
it
it has
stay.
not. It has
Let
not
it
allowed
stay.
us. Oh my god, it's all good. Thank you everyone for staying on track with what we have to, give us reaction to the
We
game.
promise you next season is our season. We promise you next season we'll get over the line.
For those of us that were at the start of the season, I still have my stogie here. I have not been
Title
able to open
for
it,
this title.
so it's gonna go untouched.
This
Untouched.
season. We
No
keep it to next
celebrations.
season.
We'll keep it for next season.
Oh god.